It's impossible to discover yourself outside of the house. You cannot be resourceful without the source.
Hello, children of God. Welcome to another episode of The Unseen, a space where we have open conversations about the parts of our Christian journey that are barely talked about. I, Marty, will be your host, and I am super excited to have you here with us today. Our guest today is an amazing minister, a purpose-driven, a leader, and so much more. So please stay with us as we dive deep in our conversation. Moving forward, please welcome Theophilus Mac Davies Jr. Woo!
Thank you so much. That was an amazing introduction. Yeah, and I appreciate that.
How do you feel today?
I feel excellent. I have an excellent spirit right now.
Okay. So before we go into everything today, can you just tell us something about yourself? If you don't have already told everyone that he is goal-oriented, is purpose-driven, but just show light on who you really are.
All right. Thank you so much. I mean, you've said a lot about me already. I call myself Mark, making a change. That's the first thing I'm known for. So once you see me, just know that we're talking about something related to making changes, transformation, and, something purpose-driven. More to that, I am a purpose and leadership coach. I am also a Christian counselor. And I'm also getting into the space of consultancy more and more now, these days. Yeah, and I love God. I love the people of God. I love people. I love having deep conversations. Yeah, so I'm here to, have some conversations with you.
Okay, thank you. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so just to set the mood, let's start with a game, something very short and simple. So here is how it goes. You are going to pick one thing, something that you rather, pick or prefer, right? So I'll give you two options. Then you pick one. All right. Play this game.
I love games. But...
We have played this game before.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Would you rather prefer chocolates or ice cream?
Chocolates. Yeah.
It's the complete opposite of me.
Chocolates.
All right. Would you rather prefer shoes or sneakers?
Yeah. That's it. I love the book, but I will go with shoes. Yeah, I will go with shoes because I dress a lot of time corporately.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, more especially for the space I'm in.
All right, last one. Would you prefer physical Bible or digital Bible?
That one is so easy. Physical
Physical Bible.
Always, physical Bible.
Yeah.
I want to go low.
Yes, I think I prefer reading the Bible physically than just on my phone because I get distracted easily.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start.
Yeah, I'm ready, guys. I'm ready.
All right, this is going to be like casual, conversational, so we can feel as relaxed as possible, Yeah, so I want to know your thoughts on doubting God sometimes.
Great. Thoughts on doubting God. I think doubt is also a form of belief. It's not the absence of belief, right? And the reason why we're doubting a thing is because we're believing another thing, right? So when doubt comes in our mind, probably we're being absorbed or we're absorbing other materials that is leading us to another side or giving us another perspective. I promise you, Faith comes by hearing and hearing the word of God. If you start to, read the word of God over and over and again, then it becomes a subconscious, it becomes your consciousness. Now, doubt will keep fading and dying in that process while you're consistently reading the word of God. But the vice versa is also a reality, is also possible, right? As long as you start getting far away from the materials of the gospel, then you start to believe something else. All right. So, for example, you're in a situation, and then probably you need some miracle, or you need something.
An intervention.
Yeah, you need God to do something for you, and then you're like, this thing, it can be. What gives you that perspective? That perspective that it can be done is because of the things that your eyes and your ears are seeing and hearing.
Okay. So have you doubted God in a way before?
Absolutely, yes. We've all had that season.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty at that.
We've all had that season.
How did you deal with that part?
All right. So there was a season of my life where I really wanted to express myself, express the things. By the way, a lot of vision that I'm operating on today, right now, from the Light Global Institute, PMP, the Answer Room, and all of those things, it actually started from a place where, I wanted to impact the world. And God showed me these things, long time ago. However, I thought that was the right time for me to just start, and it wasn't the case. So he taught me something. What is not working for you is working on you.
Preach, preacher.
Right? What is not working for you? Probably there is something is trying to work out in you. Maybe patience, maybe love, maybe creativity, maybe becoming a better version of yourself.
Perseverance.
Right? So I doubted God in that season because what he has shown me, I wasn't seeing the reality of it, in that time. But now, I mean, you can see the evidence.
So now that you see the evidence, sometimes you struggle with it a little bit.
I can tell you, as long as faith is you keep getting closer to God, right? Doubt keeps fading away.
Okay.
It keeps fading.
So the more you stay,
you suffocate. Yeah.
Okay. I learned something new. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's cool. So now you've already told us about your PMP, Light Global Institute, and the Answer Room. You seem to be someone who is goal-oriented. You love open-minded people and all of that. So I want you to tell us, how do you balance your social life or your professional life with your Christian life, your spiritual life?
All right. Actually, I don't see them as two different kinds of life.
Okay, Trinity.
Because I really see them as one life, and is my life. All right. So whether is about what I do in faith and what I do professionally, they must be able to align. They must be able to come together, right? So, for example, I am a believer in the marketplace, still being professional, but then keeping with my Christian values, all right?
Yeah.
Honesty, integrity,
values,
love, and all of those things. People know me by those characteristics, all right? So there's no
they're not separate from each other.
Yeah, they're not two different lives, right? Because one thing I believe is that your public life should also align with your private life. So I don't differentiate them, but as a person, right, socially, I can tell, many people won't believe this one, right? More especially people that have seen the other side of me. I'm an introvert. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I try to get around people, get along with them, understand people for who they are. I think what shapes that is the fact that I'm becoming self-aware day by day. So I try to balance professionalism, my social life, and also my faith, and blend them into one full
Yeah.
Mark.
So the reason I asked is because there are times that we as Christians, believers, or humans in general, we slack.
Yeah.
Right? We spend more time in our office than we
Yeah.
spend more time with God. So we get overwhelmed with the pressures from work and everything, and then we don't spend that much time with God. You know, there are seasons in our lives where we spend time with God, and it just like fluctuates in one. So that's why I was asking how you balance.
Hey, okay.
Yeah.
Let me say this, right? And I think a lot of young people really need this. One thing that has helped me so much for systemization is journalizing or journaling.
Okay.
Right? So I'm a crazy writer. Let me
I didn't know that.
say, yeah, I am, right? I love to write how I feel, what I think, expectation of the day, plans, and what have you, right? So I'm a morning person, so definitely I like to always get my day set early in the morning, right? Between 4:30 to 6:30. That's when I wake up and do my things. Right? Then in between of that time, I journalize, I plan my day, I do a lot of other activities like sometimes exercises and my vocal warm-ups because I'm also a singer.
Yeah. I think you teach me how to
Did you know? Yeah, but that's journalizing has helped me so much with systemization. I am more of a growth-oriented person. She talked about goal. Yes, I also go towards my goal a lot of time, but I'm more about growing daily, being intentional about becoming 1% better each day. Right. So that journalizing really helps me to systemize my life, plan my day well, and then even at work, I'm able to still have space of time. And it doesn't have to even be very long, right? It can just be a short moment you spend with God, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You can just open the scriptures, read something, and then pray about it, and then go back to your work, and keep being productive. Yeah, so I always do that, and journalizing really helps me to systemize myself.
That's a good thing. I actually started journalizing last year. It's actually a good thing. Yeah, I give it a shot because I'm not the type to really vent to people.
Wow.
So I said, God, please be my best friend. And then I started writing more and more. And I felt better, much better when I
It works.
Yeah, it works.
It works.
Okay. Speaking of you putting your life in order at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., have you?
You don't make me feel good.
No, you sound like someone who likes order.
I try to do.
You like order,
I
but
try.
you like.
Yeah, I try.
Okay. Speaking of that, where your spirituality and all of that, have you been in a season where you felt spiritually dry?
This is quite deep, and it needs a bit of reflection. I think yes, I have been in the wilderness. I can tell you for sure. There was season in my life that wasn't the best. I can remember, like what I shared first. There was a season, a lot of things that I wanted to see manifestation. I wanted to see a lot of action, right? I wanted to see myself just doing things around, being celebrated and those kind of things, right? However, it wasn't the case. So I've always been a passionate singer. I wanted to use my voice. I want always to use my voice to glorify God, but I wanted to rush the process. And God is a God of process. Yeah. And He uses season to hide me. Yeah. And the reason why I refer that season to a dry season was because I was very stubborn. I wanted to do it my own way. So he took His hand, I can say, and then allow me now to try to do it my own way. Now, even to read the Bible, that appetite, I got to understand that even that appetite and test that comes is not from ourselves. It's the Spirit of God at work inside of us. When God said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness, there is a part of himself deep place in us that gives us that ability to always go to him, seek him, be audacious, be curious to know more about him. And that is the spirit that brings the test and desperation inside of us. All right. So because that test and desperation wasn't there anymore, I was literally dry. Prayer, no. Word, no. Fasting and praying, everything was zero. And I struggled in that moment because even to hear the voice of God, somebody is speaking, but you don't have the discernment to hear.
You're not sensitive.
You're just sensitive to the spirit, right? The channel of your spirit is not open up.
Yes.
Right?
Free.
So that has happened to me. But I think there came a time where I was like, this is enough. Like, I can't do it on my own. I got to that point. Now, let me share the story shortly. I went for a ministration. I was invited as a guest. Yeah, for administration in Liberia at the time. And then I was the first to have reached for the event. Now, why being on the event, every other person that came before me ministered before me. I was the last to minister, and while I was ministering, guess what? The guys were doing like this to me.
The time.
Like, you're not important. Just make it quick.
Hurry.
Move from the stage. Right. That kind of vibe. And I was really, really sad about it. It really affected me mentally. I didn't minister for up to 3 minutes. Yeah, and got from on the stage. Now, when I went back home, it was a serious battle for me. I was like, God, you shame me, and it was also around that season where I felt dry, but still people are calling me here and there and stuff like that. You're still manifesting, right? Even though at home, you're not, you're not even connected to God in any way in that season. When I lie down, I told myself, I'm not going to pray. I felt heaviness that I've never felt in my life coming, as if I was dying, as if I was giving up the ghost. And I tried to fight, like you were really battling for your life on the bed.
Yeah,
you're lying, and then after like 2 minutes, I was able to rise up. As soon as I rise up, the first thing I did was started speaking in tongues. I never understood what was happening. I right away went to my closet because I had this mirror in my room, right, where I usually dress before. And then the first thing in my Bible was already open. The first thing I saw, I don't know. The first thing I saw was, dear Theophilus, Luke chapter 1 verse 2. That was the first thing I saw. Now I kept passing the because it was like the Spirit of God leading me. I kept passing the pages of the Bible, and then I landed on Luke chapter 4 verse 18. And the Spirit of the Lord is upon you. I have anointed you to preach the gospel to the poor, to bring liberation to the captive. And that was how, by the way, that's the vision of my life, if you didn't know. Everything that now God is giving me the ability to build Answer, the Light Global City, PMB, and everything, even can go, all of those organizations that we are working with, right, is really that vision. The person that I've become or the person I'm becoming is that vision I'm running on right now. And that was the experience for me. Now, on that same night, I started, the whole night was prayer night for me because it was an encounter. Now, when that happened, I'm a songwriter, right? I love to write songs so much. Being a writer and being a musician, of course, I have to be a songwriter. So I there was a song coming up in my spirit, and now I've written it. Now is a song that I've written. Now the song says, "I can't do it on my own." At first, I was lost. I tried to do it on my own. Then I failed because I didn't know what to do. My life was a mess because I didn't even know how to pray. But now I've found my hope in you. I kept pressing forward to make my way. I kept trying to make my way to take my place. But it wasn't what I expected it to be. Because it's like I'm nothing without you. I can't do it on my own. Those are the words that God placed on my heart. And from that day, I started to depend on God. You know, there's a season in your life you feel like you're really prayerful, you're really energetic. Even praying, you're thinking like you're doing it on your own. Understand? Like you're proud that you can go for 3 hours. That was how I was. And that season is actually spiritual dryness, by the way. Yeah, so that was my experience.
So I want to ask, would you prefer intensity over consistency or consistency over intensity?
Never. Like, consistency. And consistency doesn't mean you should be up here every time, right? You can start like this, go like this. You may come down. You may even come as low as this, and you go back just like that. But just keep going,
always consistent,
right? In prayers, in the word, in fasting, and one way to that you measure consistency. The difference between consistency and intensity is through fasting. You see, people that fast maybe just three times, maybe per month, they go for the first 3 days, right? That's more like intensity. I will encourage people to do it like once a week and be consistent with it. Every week, one day, maybe it can be, for me, it's Wednesday. So every right? So every day, make sure you do that. In fasting, when I say fasting, I don't mean you should keep yourself hungry for, it's being intentional about a space of time. It can even be 1 hour. Be very intentional with God. Take everything, from around you that
let everything around you serve God, bro.
Something like that. Yeah.
So you sounded like a pastor now, people.
Hey.
You sounded like
I'll take with it.
You consider theologian. Okay, so with all of those things that you have experienced in your spiritual walk, how did you start, like, your faith story? The whole spiritual journey, how did it start?
Wow. All right. So I've been a church boy. Let me start with that. I was born in a church. My parents are Christians, both of them, and my mom was born as a Muslim, but eventually became a Christian, and I learned the faith from them. I learned about the faith from them. I grew up in the church. I started singing at the age 6. Right. So we were in the children choir. We used to do songs like, "Oh, happy day," those kind of songs at church. And it used to be so fun. We just used to like it because of the vibe and everything. But then the introduction of Sunday school, I think, is where we started getting, the foundation on faith. We used to do like songs like, "Jesus loved me as I know." Oh, that Bible. Yeah, those kind of songs. And we really got to understand the love of Christ. We used to go for Easter eggs hunt, all of those fun activities. It was really, really fun for me. And I think I even started learning the instruments, but all of those times I wasn't really intentional about the faith because I didn't know God truly for myself. Right?
You were just doing it because you grew up
in the space. And it doesn't make you a Christian, but
yes.
Right? That doesn't make you a believer that you grew up in the faith. So I learned how to play the drums. I then scale up to the piano and then started singing even more intentionally. Now I think where it all happened, right? Where it all came together and I started being intentional was in 2018. When I was in 12th grade. That was when I really started becoming intentional about the faith that was when I actually went for an altar call and then, sing those words that I made from my heart and decided to walk with God, in order, walking with Him day by day. Yeah. So I started being more intentional from 2018.
You have something
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. And since then, it has been history and counting. 18.
You say since that time, what is one thing you think that God has changed in you over time?
And not
Or love, just give me one.
one.
These
It's so hard. It's so hard to name one. Maybe I should give you two. Right. So I think one thing that God has changed in my life is how I see myself.
Yeah.
Now, when you're growing up, I believe that as a child, a newborn infant that comes in the world, you are like a blank page, and then your environment is what gives you every knowledge right? But then, with all of the information we get from out, we still need to identify who we are. That's called purpose discovery, that process. And I always tell people, you only know yourself truly in God.
Yeah.
All right? It's impossible to discover yourself outside of God. And when I'm giving people the full steps or the full ways that one can be able to discover their purpose, I firstly tell them the number one is prayer. Right? Yeah, the number one is prayer. Number two is now your passion, because God placed something inside of you at the beginning of creation. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 38, He told us, be fruitful. He didn't say be seedful because He had already placed a seed inside of us.
Planted. Oh,
He said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness.
I think we're going to have service now.
Yeah, so that seed that He has placed within you, it can be your gift, it can be your talent, it can be, your potentials. All right. So those abilities is what translates into what we call potential. So prayer, passion, potential, then your pain. So there are 4 P's.
Okay.
All right. So the first thing I will tell anyone, get in touch with the source. You cannot be resourceful without the source.
Okay, so have you struggled with something in your spiritual journey? I know you have struggled with a lot of things because it's normal for weak Christians to struggle with something. But what is that one thing that no one knows about?
Right. I mean, like you said, it has not been one thing, or I can't just point out any one major thing, but I think I've struggled before with lust. Yeah, and when I talk about lust, I'm talking about not just sexual lust, but lusting after, like, I think is in common terms is called covetousness or something like that, right? Wherein you desire to be like others, or you desire to have what others have, right? And I feel like there's a season for everyone, and there's a time where God wants to give you, that consistent desire to have what others have. It used to be a thing. Also, definitely sexual lust too. I've experienced that, and it was somehow a problem, but I had to deal with it, really. Yeah.
All right. So to close up our section, I just have like a bonus question for you.
All right.
From your perspective, you said you struggle with lust. Because that's something very common in our Christian journey.
We don't talk about it.
We don't normally talk about lust, how hard it is to just about that. But what would you advise to a baby Christian, or even those who are like lukewarm what would be your advice to those still struggling, especially with lost?
Right.
Yeah. What would be your advice?
Right. My advice is not going to be very orthodox, because I feel like the Bible told us to flee,
Yeah.
right? And I really think you have to firstly understand where these things come from. Lust, for example. What are you lusting after? If you're lusting after maybe a female because of sexual desire, I think it's normal.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Because God built us like that. We're inbuilt like that. Right? But however, the scriptures give us ways, right, to be able to control it. Right? And one of the ways is for us to flee.
flee.
So I believe that fleeing is mostly talking about environment, right? For example, what you listen to, what you see daily. And the problem also comes from the fact that where did we learn about, the basic things, around those topics, like, for example, sex? Where did people learn about sex from? I did a survey in the last answer room section, and then surprisingly, not one person learned about sex from their parents.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't
Neither
sex
the school.
education in
Yeah.
African setting.
Yeah. Neither the school, neither even the church.
Mm-hmm.
So where are they getting their education from? Some even prove and show that they got those information. They even saw it before knowing about it.
Yeah. I want to get
That's pornography,
Yeah.
and other things. So I feel like it has been culturally or socially inbuilt, right? It's now, especially in the new normal, it's like something normal. People, go and watch porn for porn.
Yeah.
These things are things that are really affecting the gates of the eyes and the gate of the ears. So I think at the end of the day, we have to be intentional about setting ourselves free. So if you are a young person and you're struggling with anything as such, like lust, you see female and strictly you just
lost after
kind of,
them.
objectify their body and whatever.
Yeah.
You have to just change your mind. I mean,
The mindset.
the Bible didn't say pray when you encounter such situation. Flee from it, right? So in other words, get into a better environment where the things that I mentioned there are in complete opposite to those things that you're lusting after.
Yeah.
Right. So let me stop.
Yeah. And I think filtering your thoughts, really good, because everything you do, it starts with the mind.
The mind. Yeah.
And like you said, the environment would combine it. Maybe bad money corrupts would have the
morals. Yeah. Sure.
Well, no, honestly, maybe someday some of us will come up to talk about struggles and stuff, but these are things we don't really talk about. Like, basic sense that it's there, like loss, greed, all of those things. There are malice. These are things that are very, very common, and we don't talk about that. We don't even get the education from parents, school. God is helping us. Okay, so we have come to the end of our podcast. Thank you for staying with us till the very, very end. And thank you so much for our guest today.
It's a pleasure.
All right. Please don't forget to like, comment, share with your friends and family, and subscribe. So how can people get to know your handles? You can just say.
All right. So on social media, on every platform, my handles are the same. My name is Theophilus Mac Davies Jr. On Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok is Coach Mac, right? Coach Mac. Just search Coach Mac or Theophilus Mac Davies. That's where you're going to see it. I'm also LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. It's the same Theophilus Mac Davies Jr.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Let's say bye.
Bye. Please subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Yeah.